Yeah.
Oh, I'm drinking my tea.
Okay.
This is it's from Argentina. What is his name?
Desmond.
Desmond.
Mm-hmm.
Your name?
Sonia.
Sonia. Desmond, I go to drinking, I buy like 5 or 6 and bring it here. So for that I have them started.
Yeah.
You want to come back in? You want your seat?
No, you're okay.
Okay, I was
fine.
just saying. I'm in the way.
No, please.
Yeah, you don't get there for it's a full day for
Full
travel.
day.
Yeah.
For us, it's like more like, well, the last flight that we did.
Let's try to scoot back just a little bit. I'm trying to keep it stable.
Is there a time frame that Joey's here or whatever it takes?
Yeah, she's got gotta go pretty soon, but she'll be here she'll interview you and then we'll talk about the collection a little bit and probably like 2 hours or something like that.
Oh, that's a good amount of time.
Yeah, however, I mean it'll be like that's probably the longest it would take if it takes more or less than that.
Right. But we don't have a hard, like an hour
She
or
has
50 minutes.
her flight is like at 10:30 or something, so there's plenty of time. But we'll probably stick around a little bit to get more.
Cool.
I'm going to try stevia.
In a couple different ways. What's going on?
This is the 50th anniversary actually, and they created 2 trucks this year. One was a 50th anniversary collector's truck, which you see back there, which is kind of a nod to the collector because it is a tanker truck, which really resembles what were the original trucks. And of course they came out with their annual toy truck, which has a little space cruiser on the back of it. But it's a big year because it is the 50th anniversary, and also this is the last year that Hess will be selling their toy trucks in their brick and mortar gas stations.
Why?
Because they're basically going towards exploration. They sold to, I believe, Marathon, who purchased all their gas stations. They'll be slowly converting, so everything will be online sales going forward.
But that takes all the fun out of it.
It does, but there is fun to it. For example, this year, purchasing the collector's truck was strictly online, and they were released at midnight. I think it was October 2nd. So I tried to create a new tradition and set my alarm to 11:55 and got up on the computer, and it is more high tech, but be amongst the first and get up in the middle of the night and purchase the truck, even though it's not necessary. So, like it's not necessary to be the first one there. In November, you can buy it later. It was fun to just get up in the middle of the night and make my purchase.
Well, so tell me, for that tradition, I mean, people outside of New York, people outside of...
Are you okay? What happened with your throat? When you talk Spanish?
Nothing.
Is that it?
No, it's not.
There are some holiday traditions you just have to be from there to really get, like riding the Pink Pig in Atlanta or visiting the Kooky Cookie House in Milwaukee. Our final story this hour is probably best understood then by kids who grew up around New York or New Jersey. Although we found it does connect with some kids or former kids all the way down the East Coast. It is the tale of an American treasure that's coming to the end now of a very long road.
Having a Hess truck under the Christmas tree was always just the norm. You couldn't have Christmas without Hess.
And not just at Frank Zatola's boyhood home in the Bronx, but under the tree in millions of American homes from the 1960s to today. You could say it's just a toy truck, but for generations, it's always arrived with a little magic.
There was nothing that really I enjoyed more than being in a dark room with the headlights on and driving this truck around the furniture on the floor, because it was real, having headlights. It was a real toy that looked and behaved like a real truck.
A real truck. One you could only get at the gas station. They'd always sell out before Santa arrived. Back in the day before gift cards and downloads, the thrill of Christmas morning was the discovery of blinking lights, maybe a working horn. In recent years, maybe something even more fantastic, like a space shuttle or a jet. For 50 years, every year, an original, incredible vehicle under the tree.
That's kind of where the collection started for me when I got...
Even a collector like Frank Zatola hasn't been able to put together a complete set. So you have about 40.
That's correct.
And now you have a little boy.
I do.
And how many does he have?
He probably has about 10 or 12.
So what you're saying here is that you, the dad, have more toy trucks than your little boy.
Absolutely, that is correct, yes. Yes, he looks at them, he knows these are dad's toys, and he can't play with them.
So daddy has toys and he has toys.
Absolutely, and I think a lot of daddies have toys, yeah.
The trucks were the brainchild of the man whose name appeared on every one, Leon Hess. A self-made petroleum mogul, he also owned the long-suffering New York Jets. And he brought his two passions together, requiring that each toy be tough enough to withstand the stomp of a 300-pound linebacker. Sturdy enough for a 5-year-old, and created in the spirit of Santa's Magic Workshop. Each year, the design is a closely guarded secret. Even fans, who game the possibilities on the Facebook page Frank helps run, can only guess at what each year's model will be. You're kind of obsessed.
To a degree, yeah. This is the room as I'm leaving to go to work every day that I pass through, and I'll just stop. I can exhale, look at them, make minor adjustments, and I can just feel my blood pressure going down. It relaxes me, and then I go off to the rat race.
A tradition he hopes to hand down to the next generation. But this season marks a sharp turn for the truck.
It's a big year because it is the 50th anniversary, and also this is the last year that Hess will be selling their toy trucks in their brick and mortar gas stations.
Earlier this year, the company sold off its gas stations, but in a nod to collectors, many of whom have followed Hess's rolling museum on wheels, will continue to sell the trucks, though only online.
But up here.
Next year, Frank plans to set his alarm to wake up 5 minutes before online sales start to be among the first.
Yeah, but I like this one the best.
Though even he admits that it's a hard way to hang on to tradition.
They realize what the collector feels about them and keeping it going.
But still a heartbreak.
It's tough. Yeah, it's hard. If you have a little boy, you will buy him a Hess truck. If you don't, an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent will buy them a Hess truck every year.
It's Christmas.
It's Christmas. That's what you do. Yeah.
But if you're still shopping, bad news. Both of this year's models, the 50th anniversary tanker truck and the space shuttle, have already sold out. But if you are desperate, you might be able to find them on eBay. And then there's always next year, at least online.